The first time the narrator was invited to a Diddy party, the venue was not Diddy's mansion, but Prince's house. It sounded almost unreal. Going to Prince's house for a Diddy-hosted party where Tyrese was performing, and Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher were swinging on swings just on the other side of the wall. Everything was happening in that bizarre yet luxurious Hollywood atmosphere. What set this party apart from other celebrity events like one thrown by Jamie Foxx, for example, was the fact that Diddy didn't allow guests to bring their security detail inside. It was an unspoken rule of the event. You could come in, but your armor had to stay outside. No bodyguards, no buffers, no shields, just you, stepping into a wild, unfiltered world. What's even more intriguing is that Prince, often described as mysterious and enigmatic, was reportedly well aware of Diddy's darker side. Rumor has it that Prince even warned Michael Jackson about what he had seen. Many found this hard to believe, especially considering the long-standing narrative that Michael and Prince were rivals and would never have exchanged advice, let alone warnings. But the truth may be more complex than that. In an interview, when asked who made him feel like rushing back into the studio, someone whose music made him say, "Oh damn, they dropped something new, I gotta go record," Prince answered that it was never someone from his generation, and that there was never any real rivalry with Michael Jackson, at least not from his point of view. Things, however, took a turn in 1983, when James Brown invited Michael Jackson on stage to perform with him. At that moment, Prince was also in attendance. Michael was already a global pop icon, having released Thriller, while Prince had yet to drop Purple Rain, though he was already a rising star in the music world. That performance, featuring all three legends, wasn't just a spectacular moment in music history, it also marked the beginning of an unspoken tension. Some say Prince felt he was being set up for comparison, thrown into a spotlight where Michael already reigned supreme. From that moment on, a quiet line was drawn between the two. Not outright enemies, but not friends either. And yet, the idea that Prince might have warned Michael about Diddy hints at something deeper, a kind of mutual, silent respect that perhaps never completely disappeared. Once Michael had finished his performance and demonstrated some of his characteristic dancing moves, he requested that James Brown extend an invitation to Prince to join them. The following thing took place was that Prince took the stage, he played the guitar, and it seemed as though it was not providing him with the whole vibe that he was looking for. After that, he stripped off his shirt, and at one point, Prince fell into the audience because he thought a prop was a stage lamp post. This was without a doubt one of the most embarrassing moments of Prince's life, and it is said that he left the performance, believing that Michael had sabotaged him. Immediately following that, we witnessed a deterioration in the relationship between the two, with Michael even expressing that he did not like Prince due to the manner in which he was treating him. In the past, he has stated that Michael Jackson has stated that Prince was also impolite to the Jackson family, stating that he was really impolite. One of the most impolite individuals I have ever had the pleasure of meeting. Prince has a strong ability to compete. His behavior toward my family has been extremely cruel and vile. In the Moonwalk recordings, Michael Jackson also mentioned the James Brown concert, saying, "Well, contrary to what you all saw play out in the media, Prince and Michael were actually good friends." This implies that Prince and Michael were actually close friends. MJ and Prince are said to have an intimate bond that exists outside of the public eye, according to a former bodyguard of Prince, who has been cited as saying this. It would appear that Michael had visited Paisley Park on several occasions, and that they had frequently played games there. Additionally, it was reported that they had attended one other's concerts and been backstage each time. As an additional point of interest, it is believed that Michael Jackson played the final version of the Dangerous album for Prince in his private studio prior to the album's release, and Prince expressed his admiration for the album. In essence, what this indicates is that Michael Jackson and Prince were, in fact, friends, but they chose not to expose their friendship to the public due to the fact that the media and industry attempted to maintain their status as competitors. It would appear that they were so close that Prince was also profoundly impacted by Michael Jackson's passing. In fact, he started incorporating Michael Jackson's song, "Don't Stop Till You Get Enough," into some of his performances. Then, in an interview with Extra in 2016, Tavis Smiley, who was close to Prince, revealed what he believed to be Prince's reaction to the passing of Michael Jackson. "I have never done so in a public setting. Prince was in the middle of a practice at Paisley Park when he received the word that Michael had passed away. In addition to canceling rehearsals and sending the band home, Prince spent many days shutting himself in his bedroom, refusing to come out, and avoiding any kind of interaction with other people. Additionally, according to accounts, Prince even stated that Michael phoned him on the phone and provided him with important career counsel, referring to him as a legend. In addition to that, he provided Michael with a great deal of guidance on how to navigate the industry. Michael was reportedly given a great deal of advice by Prince on the Machine and other influential figures in the music industry, such as Diddy and Jay-Z, and it is common knowledge that he had already been through the most with these individuals. As a point of reference, Prince was signed to Warner Music in 1977, when he was only 18 years old. Despite the fact that the album he released between 1978 and 1981 did not perform particularly well, he was retained by the label because he was considered to be a musician who reflected well on Warner, which at the time was a company that appeared to invest in serious talent for the long term. Prince became a part of a new breed of musicians who realized the potential of the music video as a tool to market an artist and establish their own iconography and mythology in 1982, 1 year after MTV was launched. He released additional songs that year, and he became the first artist to reach the top 10 in the United States. It is fortunate that they had faith in Prince because, by the time Purple Rain was out, Prince had already established himself as a well-known artist. On the other hand, here's the issue about Warner Music. Once Prince began to desire greater control over his music, they began to annoy him. The situation became so terrible that he decided to take the struggle to the public by appearing with the word slave inscribed on the side of his face. He argued that because he was contracted to Warner, the company owned and controlled his identity, as well as any music that he made under that name. He also claimed that Warner had the right to use his name. In addition, he had a significant transformation in his name, changing it to that of a symbol. He was also known as Swiggle, Symbol, or the artist who was formerly known as Prince. Prince also discussed what he was going through in a number of interviews, such as the one he gave to Paper Mag, in which he stated, in addition, he also spoke a lot about how the labels controlled him and other artists in a number of other interviews and at award shows and so on. It is true that Prince was able to regain control of his songs, but he passed away not long after that. This occurred after he had stated on multiple occasions that the elites wanted him to leave the recording industry. In point of fact, Prince posted a picture of himself on his Instagram account not long before he passed away. The picture also included a message that has since been removed, just when you thought you were safe. Reportedly, when Prince was warning Michael about being oppressed in the industry, he specifically warned him against people like Diddy who were in bed with the oppressors. This was reportedly said by Prince during his final appearance at a party at Paisley Park, which took place just a few days before his death. The party took place just after his treatment, which was reported to have taken place. The fact that Diddy and Warner Music Group entered into a joint venture agreement that granted the record label a 50% stake in Diddy's Bad Boy Records label is undoubtedly something that you are aware of. As part of the agreement, Warner would be responsible for marketing and managing the distribution of Bad Boy's catalog releases across the globe, both digitally and physically. The list of current and previous artists on the label includes musicians such as Mace, Mario Winans, Notorious Big, and P. Diddy himself. During the course of his discussion regarding the transaction, Diddy even made the statement, "There have been a lot of boutique record labels that come and go, and we're still here. Because of this, we will be able to maintain our position as a dominant force in the music industry for the next couple of years because we have the appropriate financial backing, the appropriate financial structure, and the appropriate partners." Furthermore, as was the case with Warner Brothers for a considerable amount of time, Diddy was mistreating his musicians and denying them the rights to their songs. This is something that a number of artists who had previously been a part of Bad Boy affirmed. In point of fact, Diddy had begun returning publication rights to his previous musicians just before the filing of his first lawsuit. Among those artists was Biggie, who had signed a contract with Biggie's record label, Bad Boy Entertainment, when it was first established in 1983. However, Diddy's former musicians were of the opinion that he had already reaped the benefits of everything he could, and that the rights he was handing back were essentially worthless. It's weird because Diddy is known as the person who doesn't pay his artists, and then you move on to something else, and you find yourself like something that he did on TikTok because he's humorous. Nevertheless, for those individuals who put in 6 years of their lives and entered a field in which somebody made what was estimated to be $48 million, we did not even see a single penny of that. We spent years of our lives performing on stage while wearing thongs and 5-inch heels, and we did not see any of it. In addition, the meager amount of change that MTV paid us was completely insufficient. We don't even get to experience any of the benefits of that, because they never brought the show back, and they don't broadcast it in reruns. As a result, we can't even get the buzz of, "Oh, I remember this. They're cult classics. And I want to hire her for something like All of Them Got Right." In addition, you should keep in mind that at one point in time, when Prince was experiencing all of the difficulties with Warner, he placed his trust in Diddy's friend Jay-Z. He was under the impression that Jay-Z had the best interests of his artists in mind. Through his efforts, he was able to secure a partnership with Tidal, a streaming service that is largely owned by Jay-Z's organization, Roc Nation. However, in 2016, the administration of Prince's estate gave permission to NPG Records to bring a copyright case against Roc Nation for releasing 15 albums by Prince on Tidal. According to the lawsuit, Tidal was only granted an exclusive license for a freshly recorded studio album, Hit and Run, for a period of 90 days. Additionally, the lawsuit claimed that Tidal had violated copyright rules by uploading 15 albums by Prince to the subscription streaming service. In order to be the first streaming service to offer a significant number of Prince's records, Tidal stated that they have obtained a license in both written and verbal form. On the other hand, NPG asserted that the equity term sheet and the agreement between Tidal and Prince were both created and backdated in order to give the impression that they were actually genuine. NPG stated that there is no evidence that the agreement contemplated other works or that Prince was ever issued Tidal equity prior to the dispute arising, and Roc Nation ignored repeated requests to provide documentation or evidence of any oral and implied agreement granting such rights. Furthermore, they stated that Prince had certainly made a deal with Tidal for a recorded studio album with the title Hit and Run. Regarding the fact that people have long asserted that Jay-Z and Diddy are of the same nature, this is not anything that should come as a surprise. Furthermore, it is said that Prince, in addition to cautioning Michael against working with individuals like Diddy, also advised Michael not to party with him. This was due to the fact that Prince was aware of the freak-offs that Diddy was having and chose to maintain as much distance as possible from him. The first Diddy party that Jason Lee went to was at Prince's house, and the peculiar thing that he observed was that no one was permitted to bring their own security to the party. "Honey, I know that Prince possibly knew about the freak-offs, since Jason Lee mentioned that the first Diddy party he attended was at Prince's house. We never even saw Prince associate with Diddy, and it's possible that this is because of the events that took place at that party. Diddy never held another party at Prince's house after this one, and we never saw Prince associate with Diddy ever." When I tell you that Prince knew about Diddy, honey, he did know. And you shouldn't be surprised that he might have even warned Michael about him, because, as I mentioned earlier, these two were apparently best friends behind the scenes. Even while I am not aware of the situation, I have heard stories that Diddy may have threatened them at some point in the past. In your opinion, do you believe that Diddy would be capable of doing something like this? Additionally, what are your opinions on Prince allegedly warning Michael about people like Diddy? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments area of this page.